business leaders and intellectual business community. We meet again in the CEO reference program. Today we are going to talk about the innovations. We take the article of Rosabeth Moss-Kanter, a professor that is well known in innovations, and the article titled 4 Classic Traps in Innovations. It is in the Harvard Business Review of November 2006. Even though it's 2 years old, but it's still interesting to discuss about it. Especially here we have Dr. Hitendra Patel. Dr. Hitendra Patel is the director of the Center for Innovation, Excellence and Leadership in Massachusetts. Also the professor and chairman of Growth Program at the Hull International Business School. And previously, Dr. Patel was the leader of Michael Porter's Monitor Group Innovation Practice. So Dr. Patel is very competent to discuss with us about the innovations, and hopefully our discussions will inspire you, will give you the ways and concepts of how to spark innovations in your company. Okay, before we continue with these discussions, we need to first define the words of innovation. What is innovation, so that we can frame up our discussions. People may think innovation and inventions interchangeably, but actually if we look at the definitions in the Wikipedia, invention is an idea made manifest. So an idea that can be made into a product or something that is can be used. But innovation, by the definition, is an idea applied successfully. It means not only the product is made, but also the commercialability of the product, that the product can reach their target segments, can reach their customers, and can be useful for more people rather than making a prototype of a product. Do you agree with the definitions, Dr. Patel?
Yeah. No, I think one of the biggest challenges in all organizations is the definition of innovation. And if you can get agreement on what the definition is, then you get a higher likelihood that you'll get innovation actually happening in those companies.
Right.
So the definition that we encourage is not different from what you're saying, but we try to use the word business innovation when we talk about innovation. We put the word business in front of it. And when you do that, now people will understand that the definition is something which goes in of this type. It's the create and capture of value.
Create and capture of value.
You must create new ways, and you must capture new ways to get value. And if you put the word value at the end of that, now people realize that an idea does not generate value. An invention does not generate value. Implementing something might, but does not necessarily generate value. It's when some customers or somebody at the end pays money for it and you get some benefit from it, is when you can say you created value. So our definition is create and capture new ways to create new value.
Alright, so but it sounds that innovation is very broad. Let's say people said from creating a totally new product that is marketable, and let's say creating a new packaging size. In Indonesia, it's very common that people buy very small size of packaging. Let's say in the United States, maybe if you buy a shampoo, it might be, let's say, 1 liter shampoo, so that they can use for 1 month or 2 months. Here 1 liter shampoo is not selling that fast, but if you sell shampoo of 5 milliliters package, with sachet type, you can tear it and use it for once. It's running so fast, selling so well, that if you go for smaller and smaller packaging, it makes you faster in selling. So those things can be called already innovation.
Yeah. Now this is one of the challenges with people, again, have one definition of innovation. The question you've got to ask is, did it create value? And did you do something which is different from the past? So
Yes.
so if you made the package smaller, which was different, and it created an increase in market by targeting a segment which normally could not afford this type of shampoos,
Right.
then you have created value, and therefore it is innovation. Take the example of Apple. Right? What did Apple do with the music? Before, you used to buy a CD for $15, and most of the songs on the CD were not attractive, except for two, which is why you bought the CD. What Apple did was, they said, we'll allow you to buy a song, one song at a time, by downloading it. And so they basically broke the CD into smaller pieces, just like the same example that you mentioned with the shampoo. But what it really did was, it opened the market to little kids who could now download music for $1, and the market became bigger. That was revolutionary.
All right.
So you made a bigger market, and you provided it in a package or in a downloadable form. In our definition, it is innovation.
All right. So actually, the iPod idea, the breakthrough idea is not the device itself, but actually the way people can enjoy songs through downloadable songs. Is that what you said?
And I think this is a nice little segue in the conversation of innovation. What Apple did is remarkable. They didn't invent the MP3 technology. It was done in Germany. They didn't invent the first music device. That was done by Creative. They didn't invent the first music download. That was done by Napster.
Right.
They did not invent the first great user interface. That was done by Xerox. But what they did do was, they combined all that together to create a system. And the system, in the way they combined it, wowed the customer, because it made their life easy.
All right.
Right? And better than that, it wasn't patents which created barriers to entry. It was like a unique combination that others can't combine is the barrier to entry. And therefore, there is not a creative MP3 player which can compete with Apple today, because it's the whole system of music downloading and user interface and simplicity.
I see. Okay, Dr. Patel, today we are talking about the 4 classic traps of innovations according to Professor Rosabeth Moss-Kanter.
Sure.
That in companies, often she found several mistakes in innovations. First is called the strategy mistakes. It means that the company aims too high for for the expectations of the product, of the revenue, the potential of the products, that products that is projected to have small business, not really blockbusters, then they fade it out. They don't really develop it. And second is that the process mistake, that they control these innovations process too tight, that they compare it with the existing business divisions. Of course, this new child has not much promises rather than those that has been in the market, or we can say that already adult phase where they can promise some income. But this child, of course, while they are still asking for money, they don't really have a promise whether they can be a good adult later on or not. So some companies treat this new product division so tight that makes them not cannot survive, because they are compared with the existing business divisions. And the structure mistakes means that sometimes company separate the division of the new product development and then the existing product, but they separate it too much that there is no communications between them, that actually no idea can be derived from the experience of the existing business. So this new product division should look for ideas outside. Actually, they have their treasure inside, but because of it is separated, it looks like they are really from different companies.
Sure.
That's the structure mistakes according to Dr. Kanter. And then the fourth is skill mistakes. It means that Dr. Moss-Kanter said that in companies, often in the innovation division, companies emphasis on the capability of the skills of innovating. But then if the innovators group cannot communicate with other members of the companies, cannot have leadership to overcome the barriers, overcome the problems of the innovation itself. It might be that the innovation group will not be productive, or even though they create something, it will not be well marketable because there's no buy-in from the other members of companies. So it means that the innovation is not really innovation, as you said. If innovation is not marketable, cannot be translated into business, it's not really an innovation. It's not really a good innovation. So this is the 4 classic steps of companies doing innovation according to Rosabeth Moskanter. You may have different opinion with Dr. Moskanter. That's why we are here. We talk about that, and we are free to see from our point of views. So, as is mentioned in this article, Dr. Kanter said that not every idea has to be a blockbuster, and suggests to accept a smaller idea that might be profitable. Do you think that every single idea should be worked out into something? I mean, do you think that even in the innovation group, we should have a certain level of, let's say, a certain level of expectation of how big the business can be created by this innovation? So before you answer that, we have to take a break, and we'll be going into the second segment. So for the participants, if you want to participate in these discussions by sending a text message to 0896 times or 089999999788. You can say your opinions, your comments, your questions, and those one participant who is selected will get the book of Innovation to the Core from the Harvard Business Press. We go to the second segment.